Hey, ladies, and welcome to session number 14, where we are going to be talking about confidence on sales calls. And I want to commend you. If you have been with us from session number 1, I want to commend you because I know that you are pouring into yourself. We have to develop ourselves. We have to put the right things into ourselves so that we can become the women that we are called to be. And so I know that you're getting some nuggets, you're getting some meat and potatoes, you are getting some action items, and I hope you're using those daily so that you can be blessed. But let's jump right in. So good morning and welcome back to our 30 days of faith, confidence, and high income skills. Today, we are going to talk about something that almost everyone experiences when they start learning sales, which is confidence on sales calls. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gotten on a call with someone and before the conversation even started, you felt nervous? Or maybe your thoughts sounded like this. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I ask a question that I can't? What if they ask a question that I can't answer? What if they realize I'm new at this? And suddenly your heart starts beating faster, your voice changes, and you begin to second guess yourself. Well, today I want to show you something important. Confidence on sales calls does not come from being perfect. Confidence comes from preparation, presence, and purpose. I'm going to say it again. Confidence comes from preparation, presence, and purpose. Okay, so let's take a look at some scripture really quickly. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, it says, "Commit to the Lord in whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." It says commit your actions to the Lord. In whatever you do. So we're not just talking about in sales, we're not just talking about in ministry, we're not just talking about when you go to the church and you're volunteering and you're saying, I'm committing this to the Lord. But it says in whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. So when you commit your work to the Lord, you remove the pressure of trying to control everything because you understand that, first of all, you have to go where you're called, right? First of all, you have to do what you know he wants you to do. But when you know that you're doing what the Lord has called for you to do, and then you commit it to him, the results are no longer your concern. You show up. What does the word say? The word says that he himself will come and speak through you. That he himself, the Holy Spirit, will come and speak through you. He said, do not worry about what you would say when he sent out the disciples, right? And so even as you are here to serve people and bring solutions to people, and along the way, make some decent money, you do not have to worry about what you will say because the things will come together. But it doesn't mean that you don't prepare. The Bible also says, study to show yourself approved. So you need to show up prepared. Practice those scripts. Learn, drill, watch live closes, watch live sets, meet with your mentors, get some mentors so that you can be prepared. And then you need to serve people well. You need to serve the people well because when God looks at you and when he looks at what he gave you, remember when God gives you something, he doesn't give it to you for you. He gives it to you for the people. And so he's going to look at the way that you take care of his people. He's going to look at the way that you handle his prized possession, which is his people. And then after you treat people well, you trust the outcome that will unfold as it should. Now, does that mean everything's always going to go as planned? No. Sometimes there's a learning curve. Sometimes you have to be okay with making some mistakes. You don't wake up in the morning like perfect at sales or perfect at anything. Even your journey to know Christ will come with bumps in the road, with valleys, with hills, with you learning and understanding who God is. So confidence grows when you stop trying to control the results and focus on serving the person in front of you. Give them what you have. If you don't have anything to give, then yes, you should show up to that call nervous. And that's why personal development is so, so, so important. I invest personally into a ton of personal development. I read chapters and chapters of the word. I listen to podcasts so I can hear other people's thoughts. I hear some of the greatest thinkers. What are they saying? How are they thinking about things? So that when I'm meeting with people, I have something to offer. Confidence grows when you stop trying to control the results. Hear me. When you stop trying to control the results and you focus on serving people. That's a line. That's a bar right there. Okay. So now let's talk about why sales calls feel intimidating. Why do they feel so intimidating? Sales calls can feel intimidating because they involve three things that many people are not used to. One, being evaluated. Two, speaking with authority and confidence. And three, leading a conversation. You see, most people spend years learning how to follow instructions. Very few people are taught how to lead conversations. And sales is exactly that. It's leadership through communication and leadership through showing people what to do, showing people why they should have the thing that you're trying to show them what they could have. Jim Rohn said something very, very powerful. He said, if you want to lead, you must be first willing to speak. Now, what is the number one feared thing in America? I think it's probably not the number one. I want to say it's probably on the 1 to 3. It's probably in the 3 top the last time I checked. The 3 top feared things in America. Public speaking. But what did Jim Rohn say? He said, if you want to lead, you must first be willing to speak. If you cannot speak out a word, now words are powerful, right? So you can lead people in the wrong direction. You can use the power of words in the wrong way, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about leading our clients and leading our communities and leading those people, whoever it is that we come across, into the direction that they need to be in. So confidence grows the more you practice leading conversations. Now, the biggest mistake new sales professionals make is believing that they have to impress the person on the call. They try to sound perfect. They try to do the right things. They try to prove themselves. But here's the truth, okay? People are not looking for someone who is impressive. They are looking for someone who understands them. I'm going to say that again. People are not looking for somebody who is impressive. Let me lean in a little closer for the people in the back. People are not looking for somebody who's impressive. They are looking for someone who understands them. Let me tell you a little story. Recently, I needed to get a paralegal to help me with something. And I called a few different offices and I spoke to a few different paralegals because I was like, I want to choose the best one. for the things that I'm trying to put together. And so it's so funny. I spoke to one and they tried to create a fear in me as to why I needed to work with them. But they weren't really fully understanding who I am, what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to go. And so, one of the comments that was made was, I can work with you, but I'm going to take your money. And I was like, interesting. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because I was planning to pay for this service already, but I'm looking for the right person who can understand what I'm trying to do. Then I talked to another one, and they were kind of jumping the gun, trying to show me how amazing they were, but they didn't have the facts. So I started off saying something, they cut me off and started going on a bunny trail to show all of this amazing stuff that they can do, but it wasn't exactly what I was trying to say. So they were going in the wrong direction, and it sounded good, but I was a little bit like, okay, do you want to hear what I'm saying first? And then we had to backtrack, and finally when I was able to share what I was actually trying to say, it was like, oh, okay, well, and it kind of tainted. So that was number 2. And then the last one was just fully understanding, taking their time to understand me and my needs. And that was the person I ended up hiring, not the person who could showcase. And I'm telling you, the first 2 had very high qualifications, a very good presentation of what they could do. But at the end of the day, people are not looking for someone impressive. They are looking for someone who understands them. There's something special that happens inside of the heart of a person when they feel understood. There's some loyalty that's created. They might go out of their way to come and work with you just because they felt understood. So Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything in life if you want, but you have to just help enough other people to get what they want. He said, if you want to have the things that you want, you have to be willing to help others to get what they want first. The goal of the call is not to perform. The goal is to understand and guide. We don't want to get on there and be like, okay, let me do what I do. Just listen and be quiet. No, the goal is to get into understanding, get into communication. What does getting into communication mean? It means we're both on the same wavelength. It means I'm understanding what they're saying and they're understanding what I'm saying. If I get to a certain point in my presentation, in my conversation, and I lost the client, what good is that? If you said everything right and it worked for somebody else, but this person needs a little bit more something else and you missed it, what good is that? So let's do 2 examples of some sales calls, okay? We're going to do 2 examples. So let me give you a quick example. Imagine 2 different sales professionals. And the first one gets on the call and immediately starts explaining their product. They're talking fast, they try to cover everything, and they want to prove that they know what they're doing to the prospect who's on the phone. But the person listening is feeling overwhelmed, and now, they're not able to connect because they're feeling lost. They don't know how we got here. So now they're putting the pieces together of how are they going to get to this product that you're talking about. Now, I want you to imagine the second person. The second person is going to get on the call and they're going to say something simple like this. Before we talk about anything, I would love to understand your situation better. They're going to ask questions, they're going to listen, and slow the conversation down. And suddenly, the person on the other end will feel relaxed because now they feel heard. You see, confidence in sales comes from slowing down, not speeding up. Confidence in sales comes from slowing down, not speeding up. Okay, so let me give you 3 simple things that can dramatically improve your confidence on sales calls. Okay, so I want you to write this down. I hope you have your notepads out. Okay, number 1 is preparation. We talked about these things. Preparation. Now, what does preparation involve? I had said a few things before. Doing your personal development every single day. Getting up in the morning. The early bird catches the worm. You got to be disciplined. You have to get up early in the morning. You have to listen to those sales calls, listen to those trainings, practice your script. Don't be afraid to ask somebody to drill with you, another partner, somebody who you know, who's trying to do the same thing. Preparation removes uncertainty. So before a call, I want you to ask yourself, who am I speaking with? What problem might they be trying to solve? And how can I serve them today? Preparation builds internal calm. Preparation builds that internal calm. You can also do things like prepare your mental state. You don't want to get out of the room from, yelling at the kids or cleaning and doing all this stuff and then sit down and jump on a call. No, you need to get in your happy place. Maybe there's some certain music that you like to listen to. Maybe there's a few minutes. Maybe there's a routine that you do before you jump on a call, right? So that you can be present and you're not still walking into something else. You never want to get on a call and be like out of breath. Your mind's still thinking about the things that you left behind before you got there. And that brings us to our next one. Number 2, presence. Presence. When you are on a call, you have to focus completely on the person who is speaking. I'm going to say this again because this is a problem for people in general. Active listening. When you are on a call, you have to focus completely on the person who is speaking. Do not rush them. Do not cut them off. Do not think you can overcome. Just listen. Before you try to solve problems, because we are here to bring solutions. We are here to lead people into solutions that can change their life. But before we do that, we have to listen intentionally. Because one of the greatest things you can do to a prospect or to any person is misunderstand them because you didn't take the time to listen. So Stephen Covey said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. But guess what great salespeople do? They listen first with the intent to understand the person in front of them. Now, emotional intelligence. Let's talk about this because it's important. You don't have to have a lot of emotional intelligence to start this journey of being a saleswoman. But as a sales professional, as you continue to develop and talk to people and develop yourself, your emotional intelligence will increase because now you'll be able to have empathy for people in different situations. Now you will be able to have empathy as people share with you what is going on, and you're not jumping to solutions. You're not jumping to, okay, well, let's set up a call for you. Or, okay, now that I know you want a house, let me connect that. But it's more of a way for you to connect with the person and help them in their journey of life, right? And you can't help and you can't connect if you haven't taken the time to what? Listen and be present. You can't be looking at your phone, texting your husband, texting your boyfriend, texting your kids while you're still trying to be on the call and be present and take notes. You need to be present. This is how you get to the confidence, right? We talked about this. These are the 3 things that will dramatically improve your confidence on sales calls. Well, number 1, preparation. Number 2, being present and actively listening. What is number 3? Purpose. Number 3 is purpose. You have to remember why you are on the call. This is how you lead. You have to have a purpose. You have to know what you have to offer. You're not trying to convince somebody. You are helping them to solve a problem. When service becomes the focus, confidence naturally increases. When service becomes the purpose, confidence naturally increases. Now, how is that? Because when you have a purpose and you're trying to convey that purpose, the confidence of not what the person is saying, not connecting all the dots, but the confidence comes from knowing that you have something that this person needs. Now let's reframe the call, okay? So instead of thinking, I hope this call goes well, I want you to start thinking, I'm here to help this person. You see, that mindset shift changes your tone, it changes your pace, it changes your presence, and confidence grows when pressure disappears. So you don't want to have all this pressure on yourself saying, oh, this needs to go well. Of course you want it to go well, but not because you were like slimy with your sales and you had all the latest tricks, but because you actually have something that people need and you know how to connect those dots. That is what grows confidence. You don't need to have pressure. You need to have purpose. I'm going to say it again. You don't need pressure. You need purpose. Confidence grows when pressure disappears. Now, pressure can disappear in a lot of ways. Because when you start knowing that what you have is a commodity, what's a commodity? Something that's highly desirable, but not easily found. When you realize that you have a commodity, and now the people in front of you, all you're doing is giving them access to the thing that they need, confidence will grow. And that's why I've said it in the past. Be careful the product that you choose to represent. It has to do with your personal brand. It has to be something that you believe in. It has to be something that can truly help people so that you can stand behind it with purpose and confidence. Now, here's something important that I want you to remember. The best sales professionals are not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who care the most. They listen, they guide, they serve, and over time, confidence becomes natural. Now, I have to tell you guys a little story. When I got into finance, I worked for many years in banking. I worked at many different banks, different organizations. And throughout my career, I had never had a good manager. I had some decent managers where they did a good job, they did their job. In my career, I did pretty good because I've always just been a hard worker. I've always been a tenacious person. I have been somebody who believed in myself and did not give up. And I know that this story should resonate with you because I know you're just like that too. But when I got to a few years back, I moved to a new area, and some of the management in that area, they just cared genuinely about me, about my goals, about my why. And it wasn't just like some document that I filled out, but it was, why are you doing this? How can I support you? How can I connect the dots for you? And when I say I skyrocketed in my career because I had that kind of support, I had that kind of person standing behind me, it changed everything. And so another example is like when I went to connect with my mentor, the salesperson cared genuinely about who I am, what my goals are, what I want to obtain in life. And because of that, it gave me the confidence to do something that changed my life forever, which was getting a mentor that could easily give me the blueprint that I could duplicate and create my own business, right? So people, they want to connect with people who care. When you care, your potential for success is going to go so much further. So you don't want to be somebody who doesn't like people, but you're in sales. But you have to be that person who desires to help people, desires to serve the public, the people, and see them meet their goals and see them become who they were called to become and see them have the finances so that they can do the things that they desire to do. Or whatever it is, you have to care. You have to listen. You have to guide and you have to serve. And when you do those things over time, confidence, now I said over time, right? Because we're in a society where everybody wants everything immediately. But a lot of these principles are built inside of you. So when you begin to do the things over time, confidence becomes natural. Confidence becomes natural. So if this helped you and you see sales differently, I want you to comment the word confidence below, okay? And if you've been watching this series and you are learning about these skills and you want to learn more because you want to be mentored by myself and my team in our High Performance Sales Academy, I want you to know that we are currently hiring setters and closers. And you don't want to miss this because we have a limited number of spots available. So even if you do not have experience as a setter, we will train you from the bottom up. And obviously, I know a few things about sales, so I should be able to train you. I'll give you everything that you need. And if you want to learn more, I want you to click the link below. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at our mini course, or you're going to just schedule a Zoom meeting with one of our team members where we have an information session where we will explain everything. Okay. So if you are interested, we want to connect with you. We want to help you so that you can begin your journey into high ticket sales. So anyways, with that being said, I will see you tomorrow for session number 15. And remember, we say Godspeed because God is the driving force of every single thing that we do. So I will see you tomorrow. And remember, Godspeed. All right, bye.